This is part 2 of the Geminate Deathwalker playthrough. If you haven't watched part 1, be sure to do so first, since this is a continuation. With that said, let's jump into room number 2. Okay, we'll pick up from where we left off. Let's just do a quick recap of the board state. Fire and Darkness had been generated last round. Darkness by Deathwarden and Deathwalker, and Fire by the Geminate. We are making the Geminate move first at initiative 42, and we are going to use a base 2 movement here, combined with Mind Spike's top action, which allows us to target 2, curse and wound using these 2 exact elements. So we are going to resolve the basic move 2 first, which entails opening the door and letting the Geminate move into range. Let's draw the cards for all the monsters. The guard is going to be benign. The archer is going to perform a heavy attack. So we definitely want to get rid of the archer as soon as possible. And the shaman is also going to perform a fairly heavy attack. Alright, I've decided the targets for my attack. The 2 targets will be the Algok's archer and the guard. Starting with the archer. -1. So this is an attack 4, +1 because... +2, sorry, because I'm Hornbeetle Carapace. So that's 6, -1, that's 5. And on the archer, that is 6 times 2. That is a very dead guard. That's a 1-hit KO. I kind of wish it was the other way around, but we'll take this. This exhausts my Hornbeetle Carapace. So this is lost, as is this. And this was discarded. It is important to note that I consume both fire and darkness for this attack, which means that the archer is wounded and it takes a curse into the deck. Alright, now it's the guard's turn. They will perform their shield action. Oh, before we continue on, I'm also going to use my invisibility cloak here because there's no better time to use it. Next up is the archer. The archer will actually acquire the city guard as the target. Both the city guard and the Deathwalker are range 6 away. Because the Deathwalker has a slightly slower initiative, it is going to prioritize the city guard first, taking 1 wound damage, and then attempting to shoot it for attack +1. Ooh! They drew a ×2 as well. So that's an attack 4, +1 is 5, ×2 is 10. This city guard is very, very dead. Wow. This game is going to end very quickly one way or another here. No coins are generated. Alright. Next up is our Deathwalker. Our Deathwalker here is going to perform Wave of Anguish, which is a move 2, followed by move all shadow tokens 1 hex. And then we are going to perform our range 4 attack. I would have hit the archer here, but it's now out of range, having moved downwards. So instead, we are going to target this Algok's guard for a measly attack 2. Wow! I promise I didn't stack this dex. All the ×2s are out. So that's 4 damage, but 1 shield, so 3 damage. Wow, okay, that was not expected. And finally, the shaman performs a move -1. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hexes away. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It will target the Deathwalker first. This is a move 1. Alright, and nothing's in range, so it'll stay where it is. No attacks performed. Next round. I should also mention one minor misplay I made here. I forgot that Changeling Boon was active. It was in play. So after dealing the massive target 2 damage from the Geminate, I should have triggered it to consume all waning elements. There were none at that point to generate darkness. That way it would have fueled my Deathwalker's range 4 attack. It would have done 2 more damage actually with the ×2 draw. So that was a big mistake. I could have gotten the guard down to 5 hit points. But we'll play it more challenging. We'll keep it as it is. Another mistake I made was that once again I forgot to move the city guard. Yes, it does advance this way. Focusing on the Algok's guard. I believe this does not change anything. Actually, it probably does. The shaman was here, so it would have moved upwards. It would still be 1 range short of hitting the city guard, but yes, it would actually focus on the city guard instead of moving towards the Deathwalker. Okay, so these are the cards remaining in my Geminate's hand. As for the Deathwalker, we are taking a short rest right now. We will lose Restless Souls and carry on with these 6 cards. This upcoming turn is very tenuous for me because I'm about to meet my lose condition. This guard and this shaman have their focus set on the city guard. If this city guard dies, we lose the game, even if we manage to kill all the enemies. So I'm trying to rush forward as far as possible. This probably means breaking my invisibility a lot earlier than I would like, but it's better that my characters take the hits than the city guard, which is the win condition. So we're moving as fast as possible and trying to advance and do some damage to these folks here. Okay, the archer moves first, which is actually something I wanted. Let's look at its card specifically. It doesn't move because it's already at range, and it will play attack 3. Attack 3, both the Deathwalker and City Guard are the same distance away, so it will focus on the Deathwalker, which has faster initiative. Alright, and create a 3 damage trap in an adjacent empty hex. I'll just use the injure symbol here as a trap. It will create it here. Right, just remember that that's 3 damage. Now the Deathwalker moves. The guards are gonna do some really nasty stuff. Alright, don't forget the archer actually takes 1 wound damage. This is very important. We are going to move our shadow 5 hexes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we are going to consume it to perform the attack. This is Fluid Knight. Attack 4, perform the attack as if you were occupying that shadow hex, then remove the shadow. This generates darkness. So we are going to target the Algox Archer. We are really hoping to draw a +1, and we managed to get it. That was very lucky. I really needed that, because by killing this Archer, I gain a shadow token on this hex, which replaces the shadow token loss from performing the attack. So this keeps our shadow count at 4. The Geminate immediately moves after. After much thought, I have decided to make the very bold decision to turn my Geminate into a tank. You heard me right, we are going to play the tank. But before that, we are going to do as much damage as possible. We are going to curse and mother ourselves and use Flaring Hatred. So let's shuffle this curse in, let's mother ourselves. We are going to cast our Flaring Hatred on the Algox Guard and Shaman. Starting with the Algox Guard at disadvantage. -1, so this is attack 4. And on the Shaman, not bad. I'm happy I drew the modifiers in that order. That's an attack 6, 1 shield, 5 damage. And then we're going to perform move 3, regenerate self. By moving forward this way, we can soak up the focus of the Shaman and the guard. Alright, one of the guards at least. So now it's Initiative 50, the City Guard is going to move and mindlessly attack this Algox Guard. We are not happy about this because this leaves it vulnerable, but that's what happens. It draws from the monster deck 1 damage. Next up is the guards themselves. The first guard will attack my Geminate. And this guard attacks the City Guard. Finally, the Shaman performs a move 1. It's going to move, focusing my Geminate, and heal all adjacent allies, which is no one. And then perform a Bless Self. I also keep forgetting to do my triggers. I'm really sorry about that. Firstly, my Geminate flips back to melee form. And secondly, the elemental generation triggers here. And by default, I'm just going to generate darkness so that the Deathwalker can use it. I do not think this is going to come into play this turn. This round is even more tenuous than the last because I'm playing some really awful initiative values here. Let's hope that the monsters don't trample on my win condition before I get to act. Alright, that's interesting. So the Shaman goes first. It's going to perform a move, and then it's going to heal 3, range 3. The most wounded target here, it's a tie between Algox Shaman and Algox Guard. Player's choice on who gets the heal. I'm going to let the guard take the heal here. So that's a heal 3. Alright, next, the Geminate will move. The Geminate is going to sacrifice itself for the greater good by moving into melee range of this guard, so as to deflect the attack from our ally. We are going to perform a basic move 2 here. It's important to note that we are performing the basic move 2, which means that we are not switching over to range form at the end of this turn. Then we are going to wound and poison ourselves, which is really crazy here, to get an attack 4 stun on this guard. We are muddled, so we draw 2 cards. Ouch. That's a -2, so we do 2 damage. This is a stun. And I believe that's it for the Geminate. Now the Geminate is going to get absolutely pummeled here. At initiative 50, the Algok's guard here. -1, 2 damage, +1, 3 poison. So we are going to lose a card to that. We will lose our only card left in our hand. At initiative 50, stun is removed on this guard. At initiative 51, the City Guard then performs its basic attack. Attack 2. Finally, the Deathwalker's turn. Here we will perform Wave of Anguish, which allows us to move 2 into the room and move all shadow tokens 1 hex. I wish I could move 2 hexes, but, well, 1 will have to do. We'll also move the rest for formality's sake. And then we'll perform the top of Lingering Rod, which says attack 4, target all adjacent allies to a shadow token. So yeah, we can only target these 2, but it should be enough to kill both. Starting with the Shaman. Never mind, not enough to kill both, but this one's poison. On the guard. -1, 3 damage, also not enough to kill. Right, now I'm starting to draw the bad modifiers. End of round. The Geminate is going to take a short rest. We're going to shuffle this once and then draw the top card. It's Hornet. Can I not lose Hornet Stinger? Can I really not lose this? I'm going to lose 1 health to prevent the loss. And I'm going to lose Selfless Offering instead. It's on the right side, so I'll take it. Alright, now that my Geminate has short rested, I can perform much faster initiative values. So hopefully, hopefully we can clear up some of these enemies over here. Let's begin the round. The Deathwalker is going to perform a basic move 2 to move into melee range, and then perform a Strength of the Abyss, which is going to be attack 3 because we have 3 shadow tokens lying around. Right? I forgot to mention that this shadow token, the one that was used to poison all adjacent enemies, was removed due to the card effect. So we're going to perform an attack 3 +1. This is a kill. And the kill's nice because it does generate a shadow token for us. Next up is the Geminate. The Geminate takes a wound damage and is going to perform the top action of Ambitious Dare. Once again, wounding and poisoning self to perform an attack 4 stun. I would like to perform the attack 4 stun on this Algok's guard here. I know this is massively overkill, but if I do draw a null, I'll be very happy for the stun. So let's draw. That's not a null. This guard is dead. So that's done. Now at 50 initiative, the guard performs the attack on the Deathwalker. That is a kill. We have to lose a card as a Deathwalker. And because our Deathwalker had no cards left in hand, they lost 2 cards from their discard pile, meaning that we have a hand size. We have 3 cards in our discard left and no cards in hand. This next turn is going to be our last turn. Finally, the City Guard performs a move 2 to the left and performs a simple attack. Woof! Finally, putting in some work. And from here, it should be pretty simple. I'm simply going to let the Geminate play the fastest 2 cards in the melee form and then begin the round. So the Geminate goes first. The Geminate has 2 attacks. Attack 5 on top, attack 4 on the bottom. So no matter what we draw here, attack 5, attack 4, yep, the guard is very dead. And that completes the scenario. We are barely alive. The Deathwalker only had 1 turn left in it. The Geminate is wounded, poisoned, or all the statuses, but we managed to survive. Yay! So we won the game. But what have we learned on the Geminate side? Well, for sure, I did not play the perfect game. In fact, I was very far from it. I missed so many Changeling Boons triggers, and I'm pretty sure I didn't play my abilities optimally. That being said, one thing I really discovered about the Geminate is that it has such a huge potential for work compression. Now, what does work compression mean? I take it to mean doing as much work as possible within a short period of time. In this case, doing a lot of damage within a single turn. Our baseline non-loss is, the standard attack 3, which is pretty mediocre. How do you boost that? Well, With most characters, and Geminate is no exception, you simply play a lost card. One of the cards I played was Mind Spike, which is an attack 4, but it's also a target 2. So that is a huge boost. However, the thing to note is that you can further compound this damage by stacking on additional boosts. If you have elements prepared the turn before, well, you can consume them during your lost actions to add more damage or fancy side effects. In this case, by consuming fire, I added wound to the attack, which basically turned it to a attack 5 minimum, possibly more if the wound damage can take off multiple turns. But wait, there's more! If I have Horn Beetle Carapace up as well, guess what? The damage is compounded yet again to an attack 6, wound, target 2. How insane is that? For a level 1 card, that is a lot of work done. That is 14 damage spread across 2 targets minimum. Wound can potentially give you more damage, and we haven't even talked about the curse effect by consuming darkness. So yeah, the fact that you can stack up so many damage boosting effects is a huge reason why the Geminate has such strong work compression power. Combined with the fact that most of its lost cards are multi-target, meaning that all your compounding effects get amplified by the multi-target abilities. So this is how you're able to do so much damage within a single turn, and that's really good for dealing with cases such as this room 2, where it's a big room full of lots of enemies and you just want to get rid of them as soon as possible before they get rid of you. The bonus with the Geminate is that this works even on the door opening turn. If you recall, I played this exact combo as my opener for the room. This was the very first thing I did when entering the room, and I straight up killed one Inox guard, I believe, while severely wounding the elite archer. Most other classes in Frosthaven can't really do this. I mean, yes, other classes can potentially reach this sort of damage potential, but they require a few turns of setup, and they require you to maneuver certain moving pieces in place. Perhaps moving a shadow token into the right spot, or perhaps getting your summons into a very specific hex. All these means that you can't really do it on the door opening turn. You need a few turns in a new room in order for you to move the moving pieces into the right spot. Whereas with the Geminate, as long as you have your active effects set up or your elements generated, you can just step into the new room and fire away. Things will fall. So yeah, Geminate is pretty powerful, and I hope to exploit Horn Beetle Carapace more. I think it was a huge pity that I wasn't able to recycle it using this this recover effect. This was my intention, to use the recursion to recover Horn Beetle Carapace, which I feel is one of the strongest, if not the strongest, lost card available to the Geminate at level 1. Hopefully I'll be able to pull this off the next time I try the Geminate. Otherwise, that's all for this video. Hope you found it interesting. Leave some suggestions in the comment section on what classes you want me to explore again or in the future. Until then, I'll see you next time. Goodbye.